say, well, wait a minute, the Russians, they're a little weak right now. You know, they mobilized, they got their army down there in Ukraine. They can't really pull a threat. The Sixth Army got pulled out of the Northern Military District and sent down to Ukraine. Yeah, I get it, Finland. You and your huge, massive military. You know that Russia is probably on the verge of declaring war in Ukraine, which then allows Putin to order general mobilization of the Russian military capability, which allows for millions of Russians now to be mobilized into the military, which means that the pathetic little Finnish military will be swamped. Swamped. It ain't going to be 1939, Finland. You're not going to have some heroic resistance. Your boys ain't that tough anymore. Okay? It's not like you've raised a bunch of farm boys out there that are ready to go off and play Winter Warrior. You know, you're like the rest of Western Europe, soft, capitalist, have a nice lifestyle, like your cell phones, like your coffee, like everything else. The Russians are going to bring some bad boys out of Siberia, and they're mad now. You want to join NATO? Bad things are going to happen. In Sweden, what do you got? 26,000 active duty troops, 40,000 reservists. Great, you can send enough guys to help fight in Finland and last a week. Last a week, that's all you would last. You got nothing. And you don't need anything, that's the beauty of it. Come on, Finland and Sweden, you guys are dealing with, you have some of the greatest economies in Europe. You guys are, it's wonderful. Finland's a paradise compared to many other nations. Sweden has some problems, but they're still a paradise. One of the reasons is you don't have to divert all your resources into building a military. For what purpose? Russia does not threaten you. Russia won't threaten you. Russia doesn't view you as a threat unless you join NATO. Then you're an existential threat that has to be destroyed. This is one of the most mind-boggling things, and it scares me to death because it just seems to me that the Finnish leadership and the Swedish leadership have forgotten how to think independently. I mean, neutrality means neutral. It means you don't take sides. So when Europe's in there screaming about Ukraine, Finland and Sweden should say, we don't take any sides on this one. You know, we're sorry. That's your problem, especially when we're talking about a Ukrainian conflict, which is solely the blame for which is solely rests on the shoulders of NATO and their irresponsible expansion and their support for a neo-Nazi ideology. Now, I know that Finland has a history of Mannerheim and some right-wing movements of its own that fought alongside the Nazis. So maybe deep down inside in the Finnish DNA, there's some sympathy for Stepan Bandera's nationalism. I'm being facetious here because I'm hoping the Finns are smarter than this. But the point is, you know, Finland should not be aligning itself with Ukraine, with the neo-Nazi ideology that resides there. Finland doesn't have to support Russia's special military operation. Indeed, Finland can speak out against it, as they should, because if you're part of the civilized world, you have to say that war is not the solution. That's just sort of a given. I mean, war only accomplishes one thing, and that's the destruction of humanity. So, Finland can be critical of the Russian actions in Ukraine. So can Sweden. But to sit there and align themselves with NATO and say that we support what the West is doing in Ukraine, so much so that we want to become part of it, it's just foolish. It's suicidal.